used car breaks down the same day it's driven off the lot.
It was like an hour down the road it started smoking, and I had to pull over.
A man accused of threatening violence against police officers says he almost went to prison for a crime he didn't commit.
You're under arrest, you got a warrant for terrorist threat.
I never threatened any officers, dude.
And a mother's SNAP benefits stolen out from under her. Atlanta News First investigates how measures meant to protect your money may be falling short. When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates. A 21-year-old buys a used car only for it to break down on the way home. The car lot's owner agreed to a refund, but months later, when the buyer did not get it, he asked Atlanta News First consumer investigator Better Call Harry for help.
Well, it seemed perfect. I mean, like, the car was perfect. It was a very good deal for a very nice car.
When 21-year-old Nolan McCall signed the paperwork for a 2014 Kia Cadenza, his mom took a few pictures. Look at his smile. It's that new car joy, one of many symptoms that often consume the inexperienced used car buyer. It begins with tunnel vision, followed by an overwhelming desire to buy a large, shiny object at a reasonable price.
It was fine in the test drive.
Yeah.
It rode smooth, sounded good, everything worked.
In April 2025, Nolan paid Star Ventures Autos in Lawrenceville $8,000 for a car that never made it home.
It was like an hour down the road it started smoking, and I had to pull over.
He bought a smoking Kia to replace his burning Nissan Altima. In March 2025, Nolan was on Georgia 400 near Dahlonega when a pickup truck turned in front of him. Police couldn't believe he walked away with minor injuries.
Car caught on fire. We are very lucky that Nolan is okay. Got insurance money. We went and bought a car.
Hey, how you doing?
Enter Yusuf Fatai, the owner of Star Ventures Autos. He did not want to be interviewed, but said when Nolan's car broke down on the way home, he paid for an Uber, towed the car to his mechanic for repairs, and provided a loaner until a month later when he needed it back.
I live an hour away from his dealership. He called me and said, I need you to bring the car back. Somebody wants to buy it.
Nolan says Fatai offered another loaner, but he turned it down, thinking the repairs would be done soon. Remember, he bought the car in April. By August, the McCalls had enough.
And I said, look, we're not trying to take advantage of you. This is a 21-year-old kid who just wants a car, right? We went to you, we bought a car, we gave you money. We either need the car or the money.
Even though it was an as-is sale, Mr. Fatai agreed to a $7,500 refund. In September, Nolan personally picked up a check with insufficient funds.
The check bounced.
The check bounced.
Sure did.
In November, Fatai said his employee wrote a check from the wrong bank and said he'd wire the refund the following week. He did not.
I guess I blame myself some because I told him, I was like, look, this is your first big purchase. I'm just going to be with you. But I had no idea that this was going to come of it, or I would have done more.
Hold on, because we've learned a few things about Mr. Fatai and Star Ventures Autos. 7 customers filed complaints with Georgia's Consumer Protection Division. And in October, Georgia's Board of Motor Vehicle Dealers fined Star Ventures Autos $3,000, failure to process customers' tags and titles, and failure to pay state taxes and fees. Mr. Fatai says he's appealing, but there's more. Fatai voluntarily sent us a picture of the car's title and the auction paperwork that identifies the Kia as a biohazard vehicle. The National Auto Auction Association has a list of biohazards that its sellers are required to disclose. It could be mold, drugs, chemicals from a flood, or blood from an accident. Georgia law doesn't specifically mention biohazards, but a spokesperson for Georgia's Secretary of State says dealers are still required to disclose the vehicle's history to potential buyers.
How do you feel?
Like I still need a car.
Following our investigation, Mr. Fatai followed through and wired $7,500 into Nolan's account. When he got the funds, we asked him to make a video. It's brief, but it goes down as one of our favorites.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Nolan, and thank your grandparents. They took his $7,500, pitched in, and surprised him with a shiny new object that works.
Nolan gets his new car, all thanks in part to that refund, of course, because of his grandparents here. So what made Mr. Fatai actually refund the money this time?
I think in this case, the fact that we were investigating and we reminded him that he had, complaints filed. And so we just continued to contact him and say, okay, you said last week that you were going to return the funds this week and you haven't returned the funds. What are your plans so we can report the facts?
Discovering that biohazard designation, how did that change your investigation?
Most Georgians don't know that if you're looking at a used car, that you want to look for a biohazard, like if the car was in a flood and there were chemicals and if somebody were killed in a car. We only found out about it because Mr. Fatai sent us the paperwork.
Voluntarily sent you the paperwork.
Well, he wanted to prove that it was a legitimate sale, and it was, but it's like, hey, what about this biohazard? It is something every used car buyer should look into. Can you detect a biohazard? It's hard, but the best way is the auctions are required to disclose it. You're buying a car, just ask the broker or the seller, hey, did you get this car at auction? Yes, I did. All right, so on the paperwork, is there anything that I need to know that you need to disclose to me by law? And they do.
You've kind of teetered on it here, but the big lesson is that used cars have secrets. How else can we find out about the secrets?
Get the Carfax, get an auto check, get any history report. Listen, nothing beats a mechanic. Giving the car to someone, putting it up on a lift, and letting them get under there with a flashlight, because probably inside of 5 minutes, they'll be able to tell you if this is a good car or not. You'll be amazed at what you find.
You'll be armed with information.
Yep.
Important advice. Thanks, Harry.
A man arrested for allegedly threatening the police. Ahead on Uncovered, Atlanta News First Investigates reveals body camera video that tells a different story.
Daniel Watson says he's innocent. Police say he threatened to shoot them. But investigative reporter Andy Perotti uncovered evidence that changed everything.
Watch that man, Gino. Watch that man. Watch that man.
Douglasville Police!
Half a dozen police officers surround a Douglasville home in May 2025 in search of a wanted man.
Daddy Watson, come to the front door with your hands up!
I was holding my son, and my wife told me to not move. She said, don't move. You have a laser pointer on your chest.
Inside, his wife and 2 children. Outside, officers with guns drawn and a canine ready to pounce.
Stand up. You're going to get bit by a dog if you don't comply.
You really thought that they were going to shoot?
I did. I honestly did tell my wife I love you. If I don't see you again, I do love you.
You come out or we come in!
Daniel Walston followed the officer's orders.
Calm down. All right, I'm good. I'm cool.
In custody after a judge signed this arrest warrant, claiming Daniel threatened to shoot the police for being on his property.
You're under arrest. You got a warrant for terrorist threats, all right? For threatening to kill the officers last night.
In August, a Douglas County grand jury indicted him for terroristic threats, a felony that carries up to 5 years in prison. Daniel
I never threatened any officers, dude.
claimed it didn't happen.
I know. But bro, I didn't threaten anybody, dude. Okay.
And Atlanta News First investigation uncovered Daniel's arrest should never have happened. He did make a threat, but it had nothing to do with shooting or hurting the police.
Hey, what's going on? You called?
It all started the evening before officers swarmed Daniel's home. He and his wife got into a verbal argument on May 12, 2025. Daniel says they were drinking.
Things were messy that night. Is that fair?
Yeah, fair.
Police were called because Daniel's wife saw his gun in the kitchen.
Do you not understand that my babies are in there right now? I got 2 babies
If you're
in
not
there.
gonna listen to me, we're gonna leave.
She was later arrested for disorderly conduct.
Please.
Officers tried to speak with Daniel. He refused. Here's the pivotal moment that led to Daniel's wrongful arrest.
What's going on with you and is that your wife?
So, you have no warrant. Get away from my house. Get away from my house or I'll sue your department.
You'll do what?
House.
You'll do what?
Sue our department is what he just said.
I'll
We can back off.
your department.
Sue. Sue. Not shoot. Not shoot. And I said it as loudly and as clearly as I could.
Get away from my house or I'll sue your department.
Just said.
I'll
We can back
sue
off.
your department.
Why not just open the door and answer their questions?
You have no warrant?
I don't need a warrant to talk to you.
I just didn't feel safe to talk to him at that point in time.
You'll do what?
Atlanta News First Investigates sent the body camera video to the Douglas County District Attorney's Office, asking it to review the incident.
No.
Less than a week later, it dismissed Daniel's case, writing in an email, "Your information prompted us to review the matter more closely. The evidence did not support the charge."
What was your reaction when you read that?
Relief. Kind of like a boulder lifted off of my shoulders.
Do you think this would have been resolved as quickly as it did unless we got involved?
No. Absolutely not. I'm so grateful.
You got that on video?
Without you, I would be 100% still facing trial.
It's okay, I could prove I didn't do it, so.
How's this impacted you?
I came here for a job and I no longer have that job because of this situation.
It's a wrongful arrest. It's gonna be shown.
I'm not this guy that goes around threatening cops. I respect cops and I don't think that they deserve to get threatened, but I also don't think that they deserve to go stick people with charges that didn't happen.
Daniel's wife was found guilty of disorderly conduct. We reached out to the Douglasville police chief multiple times for a response, but he declined. Daniel says he has retained an attorney and is considering legal action against the Douglasville Police Department.
Andy, you were essentially credited for the outcome of this case. I wonder, though, that body cam is a huge portion of all of this. Does this mean the DA's office didn't review the body camera footage until you got involved?
Well, that's certainly a question I asked both the DA's office and the police chief's office before filing those charges. In many cases, the assistant chief basically said, sometimes we don't review the body camera video. We go by what we believe happened, what we remember happened, and then the DA's office oftentimes will review that body camera video to determine charges. Don't know exactly if that happened. It's even a miracle that we actually got this body camera video as soon as we did, because his case was still pending. That means under Georgia statute, we can't get records related to pending criminal investigations, but his wife was also charged with that disorderly conduct charge. She had an attorney and she was able to get the body camera video that way, and then which she gave to us.
And speaking of the wife, what is the status of her case?
So just a short time ago, before we taped this, I reached out to Daniel, I said, what's up, what's new? He says that his wife, unfortunately for them and their family, she was found guilty of disorderly conduct. She spent 8 days in jail, $500 fine, and has 40 hours of community service.
So that's the criminal side of this matter, but what about the civil side?
So Daniel also tells me that he has retained an attorney, multiple attorneys exactly. They haven't filed anything suit, but they plan to, or at least he believes they plan to in the coming months.
All right, thank you very much.
Your grocery money gone in an instant. A&F Investigates finds SNAP fraud in Georgia is getting worse.
It's been 1 year since the federal government stopped reimbursing stolen SNAP benefits, but A&F investigative reporter Anastasia almost found the fraud has only gotten worse and families are still feeling the impacts.
I cried. It kind of really put me back in my depression era that I was in after COVID when I couldn't get my feet back on the ground.
Sharia Robertson is a single mom.
She's not travel size, as I say it.
Who cleans houses and is starting her own cat rescue, struggling to pay rent and put food on the table.
Not being able to feed me and my son is hard.
She'd heard the horror stories, families going hungry as criminals continually clear funds from SNAP EBT cards.
I couldn't believe it when I opened my thing and it said $0.
She couldn't believe it because she did exactly what Georgia's Department of Human Services, along with a handful of other states, told recipients to do. Download the Connect EBT app and lock the card when not in use.
I was one person in line, the person in front of me, I unlocked it. Just that quick, it was gone within a minute.
Her and her son's food money for Thanksgiving through December 20th, gone.
I was like, there's no way, because I just used it down the street.
Her account showed she just used the card for a $5 purchase at a market 1 mile away in Bankhead, Atlanta. But there was another purchase in the last minute, 900 miles away.
$607 and some change, all my food stamps were gone in Brooklyn, New York at a BJ's.
Atlanta News First Investigates has received multiple phone calls from SNAP recipients in various states who've also had their benefits swiped at BJ's wholesale stores. We reached out to BJ's for comment and did not receive a response, but our investigation also found many of the stores appearing on fraudulent SNAP activity say they have no idea how it's happening.
I don't know who's doing it, but it's not really the stores.
Often either not open at the time of the transaction or don't even accept EBT. We found cyber criminals are hacking store registers called point-of-sale systems and wiring the money elsewhere.
It's big business. I mean, this is transnational crime.
Atlanta News First Investigates got a rare sit-down interview with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's lead SNAP fraud investigator, Mark Haskins, during an operation to locate skimmers in Atlanta in August.
It's taxpayer dollars that have literally been disappearing, going overseas.
Everywhere.
While the USDA's SNAP fraud dashboard displays $250 million stolen in 2024, Haskins said it's likely 48 times that.
It could be as high as $12 billion a year. Could be more. We don't know.
Haskins confirmed the issue is far greater than physical skimmers, with cyber criminals able to guess 4-digit PINs in seconds and even create fake employee IDs within government agencies.
I wake up every day saying, what are they going to do to us next?
Is there a different approach to getting them this assistance without having to have this physical card and a 4-digit PIN?
I think in the future, and I think that's what the agency and the secretary are looking for now.
4 months later, we followed up with the USDA, and a spokesperson told us they are working on a number of prevention efforts in 2026, including the implementation of chip cards, mobile payment pilots, encouraging states to block out-of-state and online SNAP transactions by default, and blocking illegal retail point-of-sale devices.
This is some items that I get. Basically, it's a bunch of snack food.
Sharia, like other SNAP fraud victims across the country, is relying on snacks from the food pantry, begging the government to better secure their benefit programs.
Me and my son are not able to eat. There should be something they could do.
Anastasia, I was watching this story and you were letting me know her benefits were stolen. She doesn't get reimbursed. So let our audience in here. What can they do to prevent something like this?
So the state's recommendations right now are that Connect EBT app. They are working to secure multiple angles. One of them is the PIN number. They've made it so that you can't set a soft PIN. That's like 111, 1234. And so you want to change that PIN right away, even if you haven't been a victim of fraud. If you change that right away, they're less likely to be able to crack the code and get into your benefits. So change that right now, change it often, and change it right before your benefits are set to drop. So if they drop on the 21st, change them on the night of the 20th.
The big question here is, what are the people in charge doing to fix this? We love solutions. We hope you have some. Is there any indication that this is being worked on and will be fixed soon?
It's been one of the frustrations of doing this reporting for the last year is, what's the solution? Is anyone doing anything about it? It seems like it's getting worse.
As far as Georgia, they did mention that they're upping security. They're working with their EBT vendor on several fraud mitigation elements, but they said they can't really tell us everything they're working on. We asked them if they are implementing things that the USDA said they're starting to look into, including chip cards. That's one thing that has not been rolled out across all of the states. They mentioned the USDA said they would be giving grants to state agencies to support fraud detection and updating their regulatory standards, what stores are taking these EBT funds that aren't even approved to take them. The state here in Georgia has not told us exactly what they're working with the USDA on, but we are going to continue to push them and try to get this solved.
We'll be watching and waiting. Thanks so much. You can listen to all of our extended conversations on these stories right now on our podcast, Behind the Investigation. Just search Atlanta News First on your favorite podcast platform. You're watching Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, a weekly hour-long investigative show with new episodes launching every Sunday at 7.